Hi, I'm Peter Winkelstein. I'm doing a video because several people have asked me, how do I measure my rig on my boat? On some of my previous videos, I've shown you some of the setup that I use, but now I'm going to show you how I measure the boat if I want to be able to reproduce my rig settings. And the reason I might want to reproduce my rig settings, of course, is that if I find a rig setting that's fast under certain conditions, I want to be able to measure that, write that down, and so the next time I'm in those conditions, I can put the rig to where I want it. The other time I use the measurement is if I want to reset my rig to base settings. So if I've been fooling with the rig or playing with the rig, or the rig has slipped during sailing, I want to be able to get the rig back to its base setting. And so I want to measure the base settings and be able to set that. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how I measure the boat. I'll call out my base settings as I go, though you're going to tweak it a little bit depending on your own sailing style and what you like out of your boat. So to begin with, as you can see, I keep the boat on its side in the stand. That's how I measure it. And the first thing I do is I measure the forestay length. And remember that the forestay length is measured from where the bow meets the bumper over here, all the way up to where the forestay connects to the mast. Sorry, that's my... and that number I leave at the manufacturer's recommendation, which is 1135 millimeters. The second thing I do is I measure my backstay. I set it to the right tension, and I measure my backstay. I've actually marked my backstay with some markings with a Sharpie, so I approximately know where I am. And I measure the backstay, and that's measured from the top of this little hook up to where the backstay attaches to the mast crane. And the manufacturer recommendation for that is 1090 millimeters, which is a pretty good basic setting for that. Now I bring the boat in so that it's in its close hauled position. I've got that already set. So I turn on the boat, set it to its closest hauled position, so the place that I like to be sailing close hauled, and I measure from there. So let's start with the headstay. I'm sorry, with the jib. So for the jib, the key measurements are the camber, which is the depth from the middle, approximately the deepest part of the sail, to the boom. The camber that I use on my jib is approximately 25 or 30 millimeters. I don't find that setting to be particularly critical, but something like that. Shouldn't be flat. 25 to 30 millimeters for me. The other measurement I make is the close hauled position for the jib, and so that's the distance between the end of the jib boom and the mast. So I measure from the end of the jib boom to the mast, and for my boat that's about 60 millimeters. And then the last measurement I have on the jib is the twist on the jib, and that's measured from the the middle of the leech of the jib, and I put a little mark. You may not be able to see it. I put a little mark in the middle of the leech of my jib, and then with the jib boom all the way at its close hold setting, I measure from the middle of the jib leech to the mast, and that for me is about 70 millimeters, and that sets the twist. And of course, you adjust that with the forestay. With the topping left adjuster for the jib. That's this. So those are the key measurements for the jib. Camber, the distance from the end of the jib boom to the mast, and the distance from the mid-leech of the jib to the mast. Those are the key measurements for the jib. For the main, it's similar. So for the main, it's the camber is the deepest part of the sail to the boom. I set that about the same as I set the jib, so about 30 millimeters. Again, I don't find that particularly critical. And then I also set then where I am with the close hauled position, in other words, where the boom is on the close hauled spot, and that's actually the trickiest measurement of everything. And everyone's got a different way of doing that. Typically, they say where it lines up over the gunnels and things like that, which I find very difficult to sight down, try to figure that one out. So I built myself out of some scrap wood, just a little simple device here that basically tells me where the center line of the boat is. So you can see I just lay this piece of this thing down between the mast and the backstay. So that edge defines the center line of the boat, and then I can measure from the end of the boom to the center line of the boat, which should be an accurate measurement, and that can tell me where. Then that tells me what my setting should be for the close hauled position for the main boom. And for me, that close hauled setting for the main boom is about 40 millimeters. And then the last measurement for the mainsail is the twist. That's measured from the second batten to the backstay. So you measure from where the second batten is up to the backstay. And that measurement for me is about 75 millimeters. And that I find gives me approximately equal twist on the jib and the main, which is what I want. So again, for the main, those are the key measurements: the camber, the distance from the boom, tip of the boom to the center line, and the distance from the middle batten, the edge of the middle batten, up to the backstay. So that's how I do it with my boat. I hope that that's helpful for you, and I wish you all good sailing. Please remember to subscribe and to like if you like this video, because that helps spread the word. Take care now.